Today's episode is sponsored to you by A&H Provisions. Meat and hot dogs that are so good, even Goyim understand how amazing they are. It's the next level of kosher food, and the website is kosherdogs.net. Get yours, enjoy them, A&H Provisions. Welcome to And Here's Modi. Hi. Welcome everybody back to And Here's Modi. We have a repeat guest, a close friend, a good friend, one of the funniest comedians that I think, joke writing for sure, and has a special out now, Mike Vecchione. Welcome back to the podcast.
Thank you for having me, buddy.
It's so good to have you here.
Thanks for having
me. And Periel's here,
Hi.
wearing only at the Concord T-shirt. Do you know what that is or no?
No.
It was a hotel up in the Catskills, and it was the hotel when the Catskills was on fire.
Yeah.
For the
that was
Jews.
the hotel, and it was, believe it or not, the first hotel I ever performed in. I was there. Their closing weekend.
Wow.
I was the opening act for the singing group, and the joke I had was they gave me the room. By then the rooms were like garbage.
Right.
They used to be like, this used to be like the hotel.
Yeah.
But then the rooms were garbage. So I opened the show with, hi, it's great to be here. I checked into my room. I called the manager. I said, hey, I got a leak in the sink. He said, go ahead. That was the opening joke at the Concord Hotel. And here you are with the Concord Hotel shirt. Okay, but much has happened since then.
I'm so excited to be here. I feel like I haven't seen you forever.
I know, it's been a while. And I haven't seen you
I haven't seen you in a long time. Well, to give some historical background, I see each other in the city all the time.
Yeah.
Okay, we used to perform at the Cellar all the time.
We still do.
When it was
I
one
still
room-
perform it.
Yeah.
We're just busy,
Right. Right, just busy and other stuff, and there's more rooms, so you might go to the room around the corner and not see the person who goes to the other room. There's all kinds of contingencies. And we used to train together. Boxing training.
No.
Yes, we did boxing training together. And Modi was very tough. But the boxing training, look, the boxing training was so tough. I wrestled for years. I know what, I wasn't that good, but I know what a tough workout is.
Yeah.
And this workout was very, very hard.
It was us. It was me.
Yeah.
It was me, Mike, Keith Robinson, who organized
Yes.
it. Marina Franklin, and then a few variables that came in and out.
Where was this?
On Broadway, and I forgot. Believe it or not, it's called What the F Gym.
No.
Right?
Yeah, work, fight, train. Shout out to them.
Work, fight, train.
Yeah.
Shout out to them. Isn't that the name of this podcast
Yes.
studio?
Well,
Isn't that
it's not
hysterical?
Work,
That's
Fight,
really
Train podcast, but it is what W.
It's that. And it was great. And then we used to go to the Cellar and have lunch.
Yes.
And then it was just a vibe.
This was before everybody's busy during the days now doing their clips and doing podcasting and all stuff. This was before. I mean, it wasn't that long ago, really. It was what was it, 2015, 2014?
Yes,
Oh, wow.
15.
But it was
yeah.
but it was around that time. So none of this existed. It was just you would work out during the day. We'd go to lunch afterwards, and then we'd go to spots.
What a life, huh?
And now we're sitting podcasts,
Yes.
clipping videos.
It's no way to
editing.
possibly do that again, believe it or not. There's no way to possibly, because coordinating everybody's schedule for that, everybody's working on their own brand during the day now.
Where can people?
Sorry about the
You
cough.
okay?
I'm fine.
You have
I'm
COVID?
recovering. No, I'm not. I do not. I did the test. I do not have COVID.
You have a variant, at least?
No.
Anything you could share?
Nothing. A little
Come on.
cold. Once in a while, he gets a cold.
Speaking of brands, where can people see your special? Jesus.
It's,
All right, sorry.
It's on YouTube.
And what's it called?
The Attractives.
I'm sorry I look like every cop that's been in trouble on the news. Remember last week when the air almost killed us? Remember 5 days ago we were almost murdered by the air? And now you want to go running with the bulls. Which I know that's what it's called, but that's not actually what you're going to be doing. Running with the bulls implies that the bulls have accepted you and you guys have decided to exercise together. What you're going to be doing is running from the bulls. Do you understand the difference? Running with, running from. Everybody's so focused on pronouns now. Maybe we should take a look at some of these prepositions. Running with, running from. Thank you.
Leo and I sat and watched your special, and we died. It was so good. Not because we know you, but because the delivery.
I know, his delivery is
the way
amazing.
he can wait for the joke, the way he can take a pause. I'm like, I could never do that.
Yeah.
I couldn't.
It signifies what I'm doing in my career. Waiting.
No.
happen.
Come on. You are one of the...
I'm appealing to your fans right now, waiting for something to happen. Please.
They love you. Please, Mike Vecchione, make sure you see him.
The
Make sure the
Attractives.
Attractives. And it's so... And you talk about your relationship.
Yes, my girl.
Yeah.
We went to her parents live on a farm in Indiana.
Oh my God.
So I do a show in Chicago and then fly and meet her and her parents in Indiana. And I'd never been on the farm before. It is a no joke farm. Yeah. It is a functional farm. Anyway, they were having I'm doing a joke about farm problems are different than our city problems.
Yeah.
Like there's a tree on the neighbor's property and branches keep falling on their property. So it's kind of like a farm on farm beef. And so they're having a problem, and they're like, they have to call in a tree surgeon, which I find is weird that the tree has better health care than I have. And
it's hysterical.
And it's like I was trying to suggest, a show business solutions. They're like, should we cut the tree down and split the cost? I'm like, how about Ozempic for the tree? Maybe the tree's fat and it needs to like slim down a little bit.
Hilarious. Literally, and the timing, and it's so... It's
I know,
so good.
you have
and the
most
fact that you did
deadpan.
some of your act on the show is so amazing. Usually comics won't do that.
Like to do that.
But I've been watching old Johnny Carson clips.
Yeah.
And the best ones are when the comics just do their act even at the couch.
Yeah.
Joan Rivers, Rodney Dangerfield, Don Rickles, they sit there and just do their act.
Yeah.
They're not like, I was in, we were vacationing in Hawaii. No one cares. Do your act. And you do your act.
Force the crowd.
And
Force
do
the
her
crowd
parents
into it.
come to your shows? Have they been to a show?
They like the special. Specials all like it's like whatever, anybody could watch it. So they watch
quite a pitch. Like, the specials, whatever, anyone can watch it.
No, it's great, but anybody, all age groups, whatever, could watch it. It's but I don't pitch it as clean because clean comedy has a stigma of being corny.
But you don't
it's
curse.
not
You don't
corny.
drop F-bombs and S-bombs. It's clean.
It's clean.
That's what makes it clean.
But if I say it as clean, then people automatically think it's corny, and they're like, I'm not watching that. It's corny. It's like,
Right.
It's not corny. You can't survive in the New York clubs being corny.
Right,
So,
right.
I'm not sure I'm agreeing on this whole path. I am clean and known to be clean, and I don't curse.
Yeah.
At the Comedy Cellar, I'll drop sometimes an... Do you know when I curse? When I try new material.
I
and
have
I'm
seen
nervous.
you
Right.
curse.
Yes, but...
But maybe that's you're just working it out in the city.
Yeah.
When you take
but,
it out on the
but
road, it's not.
It's not corny to not curse. There's amazing comedians that don't curse.
Well, no.
And they're not corny.
Right.
But so you can't really... It's not corny and cursing.
Yeah, I'm just talking about like the perception of it.
Okay.
When fans see that if you pitch it as clean comedy, they'll go, that's I like stuff that's a little edgier, blah,
Right.
blah, blah. And then they immediately won't even watch it. So I
Right.
just say it just is comedy.
It's just...
And then once they don't even realize that it's not dirty.
Right.
So or there's no
Although,
cursing.
I find that some people really don't like cursing.
I don't know. First of all,
I'm dirty. I curse.
she curses
Yeah.
and filthy and in the whole
I'm not
thing.
filthy. I'm dirty. I don't think I'm filthy.
Oh, really? There's a difference between filthy and dirty.
Yes, there's a
Okay.
big difference between
Yeah.
filthy and dirty.
Just like there's like Christian clean, which I know is offensive to you guys. Christian clean and and TV Clean. Remember TV Clean? Like,
Yes.
for Comedy Central
Yes.
stuff. When we used to do Comedy Central, it's like, be TV Clean. It's like, oh, you just can't be. You can curse, but like you can't. They can't be graphic sexual content.
Exactly.
Right.
I really do think there's a big difference between being like filthy and being dirty. And actually, I just did a show at a synagogue. No offense.
To you.
And they said, but at the last minute, they're like, oh, and by the way, Periel, we're going to keep this like PG-13 just out of respect for the fact that we're in a synagogue. And I was like, not doing the show. No, I'm just kidding.
No.
I was like, okay, no problem.
But don't you love it when they tell you that last minute?
I
Like,
know.
They don't know any better, I guess. But it's like,
Well, they should,
it's
right?
like, yeah, they can't. You can't tell somebody that last minute. That has to be a stipulation before you.
Way before.
100%. In this, I completely agree. In this situation, it wasn't a big deal, but I was like, oh, wow, I thought of you and I thought you'd be proud of me because I really kept it like pretty clean for me. Not like squeaky clean,
Right.
but
Okay. But in those
it can be done.
situations, in those situations, you usually get a phone call. I call it the keep a clean speech. You get a phone call. You know, my manager, everybody handles whatever it is, and then right before the whoever the head of the organization is, the rabbi or the president or whatever wants to speak with me, to tell me that it has to be clean. So I call it the keep a clean speech. But what always comes with the keep a clean speech, there's a disclaimer. They go, you got to keep it clean. But not for me.
Yeah.
Not for me. I want to hear your regular stuff. As if my regular stuff has a pole and 2 dancers. It's always clean.
Yeah.
But he has to be like,
Yeah.
keep it clean.
Yeah.
You know.
Because he doesn't want to get. He'll get letters. He'll get the heat.
Right. He'll
get the
heat.
blame.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. He'll get what to complain about.
But I always find that the person, like your manager, whoever books the thing, like they have to have the awareness enough to set the tone to be like, oh, it's going to be this, and this. Because if you don't, then they don't book comedy shows. They're an organization that does something else. So they don't know what they want. They're like, we want it a little bit clean, but not really filthy and edgy and dirty, but a little bit edgy, but not. It's like, all right, dude, we'll handle it.
Yeah.
Like if you want it completely clean, make that known.
yeah.
But like you can't. You're just like, and then the people have a thing where they're like, we'll have a musical act, we'll have a musical act. It's like, that's not the way people will be
No.
up getting cocktails while you're on.
No.
It's like that's not the way it works. And
Right.
and no disrespect to they don't know how it actually works.
Right.
But we are in this business, so we know like it's not music. You need somebody sitting.
We've discussed
With an
this
attention
so
span.
many times.
Have you really?
Yeah. I've
It's in my contract, and it's called performing, doing comedy in a place comedy is not meant to be done.
Right.
So we're not in a comedy club. We're not in a theater. You're in an event. Whatever it is for you, it's like some union,
Knights of Columbus.
Knights of Columbus, whatever it is, where it's they're having a dinner, they're having
Right.
whatever it is. For us,
Right.
it's a synagogue.
Yeah.
But it's not meant to be done. And the person hiring you saw you at a theater or
Right,
a comedy
right,
club,
right.
so he thinks we're gonna recreate this here.
Yeah.
But you're not.
Yes.
It's not a comedy club, and they
Right.
have food and things in front of
Right,
them.
right.
They're busy. They
Yeah.
have things.
Yeah.
So in my contract, it literally, the food has to either be cleared or there could be no wait staff on the floor.
That's great.
Because if a Jew sees a waiter in the middle of the show, sir, anybody need anything here? Water? You need some more water? In the middle of the show.
Yeah.
So you have to, and then the music and the sound and the lighting. There's
Right.
a whole way to do it.
Yeah.
I make a change in the lights. I make a change just so they know there's a different thing happening in the room.
It's great.
You know, I'm working ballrooms of 1,000 people.
Yeah, it's great.
It's you gotta,
Yeah.
but yeah,
You're already dealing with high ceilings. That's a thing.
that's a disaster. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like important to have low ceilings, good acoustics, the sound being like loud. You project anyway. Like you have more of like boom, like you take it over, which is something.
You did really have to focus.
Yeah.
I will scream at them
Yes.
to put them together. You just like, here's the jokes. Are you in or are you out?
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
they're
but you have the
amazing.
thing. It's like we did a gig together, and it's like everybody, we all did okay before Moni's closing, so we all did okay. But then he went up and just like took the room over.
They didn't know
So-
the room. Oh my God.
Yeah,
I remember.
it was a
Wait,
country
when-
club.
when is
It was
this?
like a country club. It was like a ballroom, whatever. It's
Al-
like me, Ryan Hamilton. I remember we were like 2 guys who went before you, and like we did good. We did okay. We did good. But then Modi went up and like took the room over.
It was Alpine Country Club. or one of those expensive country clubs
Yeah.
right there.
Where
And
is it?
It's in New Jersey, right over the
Okay.
bridge, but like big, rich neighborhoods. Chris Rock lives there, and it was a country club, and it's just rich Jews. It's all it is, and they get a dinner and they get a show,
And they got him
and
and
they
Hamilton,
booked this
and
show,
then you.
and they booked all of this,
Yeah.
and they like would. Ryan Hamilton just looked at him and go, "Where did they find this guy? They couldn't find somebody more goyish than this."
Okay, but Ryan's used to performing in front of thousands of Jews. He opens for Seinfeld all
No,
the
this
time.
was before that.
This is
Oh,
before
years
okay,
ago.
this
Yeah.
is a long
This was
time.
years
But then
ago.
I knew that
Yeah.
I knew the routine.
Right.
This is my audience. I went up there and you know we killed
Listen,
it.
I have learned so much from being able to hang around with all of you guys who have like 25 years more experience than I do. But one of the most like profound lessons I think I got was when Bobby Kelly was saying that somebody like me, the best thing that could happen for somebody like me is to go up after he does his show, right? He's like, there should be no more check spots.
Oh yeah.
They should not be dropping checks during when you guys are up. Afterwards, you put somebody else up and let them eat shit for 15 minutes.
Yeah, but not have to fight the checks.
Yeah. But that's
But that's
No, but it's
But that's really good if that's a fair play. It's a fair play if like you're following somebody like Bobby and there is no checks, and then you go up and then it's like you don't have to worry about
No,
the
there are
distraction.
checks.
There
no.
are.
She's talking about in a comedy club.
Right.
or not even in a comedy club, in like a theater, not in a
theater,
theater,
there's no check.
not in a theater, but okay, in a comedy.
In a comedy club, there's the conversation was that sometimes it's better you make more money at a comedy club than at a theater, and you go to a town.
Right.
But there's a check.
Yeah.
The reason you're making money, the reason you're making more money there is because the club's making more money selling drinks and food.
Right.
So there's a check spot at the end. So he does his 45, and then brings on for the last 10 minutes somebody to just die while they're doing the checks.
And so I thought of it because I had to do it last night.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause I hosted 2 shows for Frankie French, who was taping her special.
Okay.
So we said no checks. And then she did an hour. I don't know if you guys have ever seen Frankie. You must have. She's unbelievable.
Great.
And then I went up there for like 15 minutes.
And just ate it.
It was great though.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
It's called eating your balls.
It was
Yeah.
really
It's called- 'cause
good.
you
Well, that
look
builds the
'cause you
muscle.
look
That-
like you look
yeah.
like you have a pair of balls in your mouth going. But
that does build a muscle. As far as creatively, I don't know what it
100%.
does.
It would-
Creatively, it doesn't help. Stage presence wise, being able to take
does.
over a room,
It
that
do-
does help that.
It did help because what I did is I just did crowd work the whole time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in those situations, when I was in those situations, I would focus on the only people focusing on me. There's always one table that's still with you.
Yes.
Focus on them.
Right.
The whole other room could be a mess doing long division on their checks. But you have one table listening, focus on them and do it. The other exercise that you're exercising there is knowing your act and knowing where. Imagine doing your show in the living room where you know where the jokes come, but you just do the act and just do your timing even though you're not getting the laugh
Yeah.
on the spot.
Oh,
Yeah.
that sounds
Yeah.
so
And then as
painful.
more people stop paying, you're pulling the more people in.
Yeah.
That's the hope of it.
That sounds
Even though that's
so
it's
depressing.
a tough thing. I like the idea of like somebody going up and murdering. The crowd is tired. They're shuffling around, but there is no checks. And then you have to go up afterwards and try to like get them into your energy.
That
like
sounds sadistic.
bring them into your energy, and then kind of like
You
they're
like
not
that?
with you at first, and then I don't like it, but it's a good exercise. to, like,
Yeah.
turn them, start bringing them in, and by the end of it, you have them, and it's like, wow, that's you walk off stage, and even if nobody else knows it, you know it.
Right.
You
Right.
know what you did.
Right. Well, first of all, I will say like, okay, so now we're talking like, so it's a muscle to build, but you don't want to follow someone with crazy energy, do you?
No,
You wouldn't want to follow a Jessica Kirsten.
But Jessica, like I followed her on stuff like at for like Letterman auditions or Tonight Show auditions when they were doing it. But it just depends on the room. Like Gotham's a room that opens up a little later in the show, and she went up and murdered like the way she usually murders, and then I went up afterwards and they were primed, so it actually
Right.
worked to my
Oh,
advantage.
it worked in your favor.
Yeah.
Okay.
But sometimes you're right. I mean, she just destroys so completely
Right.
that it's like it's hard, but it's a good practice to go up there and it's like, all right, she murdered, and let me go up there and just establish it. It's a thing in establishing your energy,
Yeah.
Yes.
and then
Yeah.
and then bringing them into your own
Yeah.
energy, and then they're like, you
The
know, but
audience,
they're
100
like after somebody like her gets off, they're like, woo, all right, wrap
Yeah.
it up, whatever, and then you have to come up, and that's the challenge.
Yes.
Right.
No, I always told you, when you walk on stage, you have to immediately exude confidence.
Right.
You have to walk on stage like a doctor walks into a doctor's office. Like you're sitting there butt naked in a gown, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And the doctor walks in. You have to feel confident that this guy knows what he's doing. But to check your neck and all that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You need to have some confidence.
Yes.
When you walk on, make eye contact, take the mic pole, put it back, let them show that you're about to get to work. It's a whole thing. Last night, I was at the Algonquin Room in
Jersey.
New Jersey. So, I don't know the name of the town. Massaquax. It's this town. This beautiful little beach town in the middle of all these Jewish towns. It's this one like not Jewish town, but it's next to Deal. It's next to Tom's River, next to Lakewood, and they have a gorgeous theater. And my opening act now is Ilan Altman, and I always tell my opening acts,
I love 'em.
Just bring a suit. And they never. Eric Newman always came in schmatas and garbage and jeans and t-shirts. Ilan came with a suit. The audience sees that. It's you present yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're not a suit guy because
No.
your material's not going that. But he's performing for my audience.
Right.
You got to know your audience,
Yeah.
and so. But yeah, you build your comedy muscles that way. So good for you.
I don't know if that happens as much anymore. It happens, and I'm not saying it's bad, but that was the way we developed coming up through the clubs. I think with social media, it's people are getting audiences a different way.
Yep.
now. But the way we developed through the clubs is that was an element of it. Like the crowd's not on your side, and you figure out how to get them. And we would go back and. There was no podcasting or anything, so you work on your jokes. That was your only recourse. Work on your jokes.
I think that's the best way to do it, though, because I think that what winds up happening, or what I've seen, is that you have people who have amassed very large social media followings, and they're very funny on social media,
Right.
but
They can't
they
deliver.
can't hold a room. It's a very different thing.
They can't hold a room, but I don't know if that matters because the people are there to see them, and they're just thrilled.
Yep.
That they're there, you know what I mean? I used to think the same thing, but now it's like with this evolution, it's like I think that because and they have to admit also, even if it wasn't the funniest laugh per second, that's not what they're expecting anyway. They just want to see their person in person, and they walk away going, that was worth it. That was worth it for me. So it doesn't have to be like our standard is. It has to be a laugh every 7 seconds. They don't even look at it like that because they're not. If the person's not really doing comedy, the people who are coming to see them are not really comedy fans. They're just there to see their.
But aren't
see
they
their
going
person.
to comedy clubs? Like, aren't these shows that they're...
Yeah,
That's just the venue.
that's a.
Doesn't mean
venue.
there's a comedian
Yeah.
up there. It's some woman who jumps off of a couch onto her table or something, whatever the act is, and then she's also has
Right.
2 jokes that she put together. Now she can sell out a room,
And they
she
might be
does.
disappointed, but I think if you would poll people afterwards, they'd be hesitant to tell you they were disappointed because
Right.
if they're disappointed, that means that they made a bad decision about
Right.
spending money on this ticket, and
Right.
they don't want to admit that to themselves. So they would rather just go, "No, it was good. It was what I expect. I just came to see my person. It was good. Was it the best, most last percent? No, it wasn't. But
Right.
it's what I wanted to see." They are like. They have to admit that. They would have to admit that they made a mistake.
Right.
And that the person they thought was good was not really that good. And that, I never thought about that before when I was doing comedy. It's like I was always like so focused on jokes and the act. It's like, how does the crowd feel? How are you making them feel? Like when they're watching you? So sometimes like I'll watch other comics, like I'll stop watching their act and I'll watch when they're performing in front of their own audience. I'll watch how their audience is responding to them.
Right.
Yep.
Even when the jokes are like, oh, that wasn't the strongest joke or whatever, they don't care. They're there to see the person.
So true. I from day one, always what is happening in that audience's head.
Yeah.
I pull up to a theater, I go, where's the parking for everybody? Where are 1,000 people gonna park? Yesterday there was a line outside. It was when people, and like Leo came to, there's a huge line they're trying to get, I'm like, my heart drops that they're going through that. Then I finally see them seated, and then you see them with their interactions. And I always think, what's going in their head? Whenever I watch a comedian, I have one eye on him and one eye or her and one eye on the audience, just to see what they're getting and what they're. It's so. But I was from day one. It's always I'm in the audience's head. Always.
That's great.
Always.
That's great.
Yeah. You are from that school of like, it's you against the audience.
Yeah, I had so much in like,
it's a very different.
With like so much in your act. It's like, you know, and I like realized, I pretty recently actually realized like, I'm making a mistake. I'm making a mistake. It's like, because the goal is like what you have. It's like, you want to have our own audiences. You want to go and you want to sell tickets. You want people coming out for you. But it's like, and it's like, yeah, but I'm like, my thing was always like, yeah, but I'm killing, like I'm murdering. Isn't that the thing? They're laughing. It's like, you could be murdering and laughing, and they could walk out and they'd be like, that guy was funny. What was his name?
Exactly.
It's like, no. You got to have him remember your name.
Yep.
And in order to do that, it's like, where are they in this? Are you telling jokes about your wife? Are you telling jokes about marriage? And people were walking out going, that marriage guy, like that, who is that guy? That marriage guy? Because he was saying exactly what I feel in my marriage. Right. You know, it's like there's got to be that connection there. If you're just doing jokes, I mean, maybe, but like
you
like,
really on your special you built. This is I'm for you.
Yes.
I'm for the people in these marriages.
Right.
You're building your audience. Maz Jobrani, I'm Persian. I'm your comedian.
Yeah.
I'm Jewish. You are my audience.
Right.
And be true to your audience, and then the rest will follow.
Yeah.
Be true to you. So you found your audience. It's the guy married to a woman. There's nothing in common, and it's come together.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they
don't
have to
betray your
remember your name.
The way that
and by the
Judas
way,
betrayed
if you want to know the number one way for people to remember your name, borrow money. Just borrow money. They will always remember your name. If you want to, people will remember your name. Just borrow money.
Good.
Okay, should we get into this thing that happened with the other podcast?
What? Wait a second. Oh
What?
my God.
Oh my God, what? No. What?
We didn't say our sponsors.
Oh my God, I love our sponsors. Hi, sponsors. And A&H Provisions. Best hot dogs in the world, Mike. Kosher. Glatt kosher.
Glatt kosher.
He just sent, I posted I posted yesterday, he sent his care package for July 4th weekend. Seth, the owner, the nicest guy in the world. If you want a tour of his factory, he'll be happy to give you one.
That's
and
pretty
merch
awesome.
and heights and all that stuff. A&H Provisions, they are the best hot dogs and glatt kosher meats. Their website is
www.kosherdogs.net.
okay. And use the code MODI for 30% off of your first order.
And
Is that good?
Yes, and send us pictures of your barbecues.
Okay, yes, enjoy. We love
Only if it's kosher.
and only if you're cute. And then we have Whites in Luxembourg, of course, a law firm. Arthur Luxembourg, a friend of the podcast, and they are a law firm that does well, but also does good. They're very philanthropical.
Yeah.
Ooh,
that's a good word.
That's a good word.
Philanthropical. They do amazing things for the
Philanthropic.
community. They are the law firm you want to have behind you if you have any sort of problems. Whites in Luxembourg, thank you guys very much for being our collaborators, our partners. And
Whitesinlux.com.
whitesinlux.com, yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry we didn't do you in the beginning. We did
It's
you in the
okay.
middle.
It's okay. Sometimes it's good to get done in the middle.
I told you about this podcast. Okay. If I can explain this to Mike Vecchione, then anybody in my audience will understand this. Okay. There's a podcast that's out of Muncie, from what I understand. Muncie is this north of New York City. It's a Jewish area, very religious.
Ultra.
There's
ultra
Hasidic people there, and there's
Orthodox.
Yeshivish people. Okay. Hasidic is the ones, with the curls and the whole black outfits, and Yeshivish is the ones that sometimes usually clean-shaven, white shirt, black pants, and religious, but they're called Yeshivish. And there's a podcast that's called Halachic Headlines. Okay. Halacha is the laws of Judaism. Like you can't mix milk and meat.
Right.
That's a halacha.
Right.
Okay? And there's a guy that runs this podcast, and I'm not going to mention his name, okay, because he didn't mention mine. And he spoke about me, and I'm going to play it just so you hear their voices and how they sound and how ridiculous they are. But I'm going to play this, and and then we're going to discuss it, and I'm going to be very okay, so this is the podcast. It's called Halachic Headlines, and the segment of this is called Bale Avera, which means masters of the sins. Bale Avera in our midst. Bale Avera in our midst.
Okay.
Masters of the sins that live in our midst. Whatever the hell that means.
Kind of sexy.
I'm
Kind of a turn
so
on.
happy Leah's not here for this. Hold on.
Certainly one of the guy in the world, and I asked him the same question, and they said, "Halacha, you would be allowed to do it." Okay, so let's talk about today's topic. There's a person who, and he writes to the Elam Shmai, but he's a Jewish.
So he says, there's a person. Now, when they speak like little sissies. When they speak, they say the sentence, and whatever the verb is, they say in Hebrew, but in like a little weak little Hebrew. Like, She'ena, there's somebody that was Hailech, he was walking, but he wasn't Yared, he wasn't going down. That's how they speak. It's like this. So now they're discussing me.
Wait,
I'm just beginning. I'm literally just beginning.
this is like anti-Semitic and homophobic all at once.
Not at all. This is this guy. So he's saying here he doesn't want to mention my name. Any right I don't want to say instead of just saying I don't want to say his name or to say it in Hebrew like a normal person. Any right to This is how. So he doesn't want to mention my name, but he then describes me. So hold on here.
Entertainer who says very openly that he's married to a member of the same gender. Last week there was a big aliyah up to.
So entertainer that's married to somebody, Jewish entertainer that's married to somebody in the same gender. I don't know how many other Jewish entertainers known as Jewish entertainers. And then it goes to, hold on.
Karastir to the yard site of Reb Shaila Karastir, and they wrote a Sefer Torah over there. And he wrote an ice in the Sefer Torah, and I saw the picture. Somebody sent me the picture. No, it wasn't the Sefer holding his hand. He wrote it by himself. The Sefer is not holding his hand very clearly. So somebody asked me, is the Sefer Torah kosher apostle? What did they say?
So he doesn't mention who I am, but he says entertainer that's, and I was also at this gravesite. It's a big pilgrimage in the Jewish world that you go to this gravesite of this Reb Shaila, one of the holiest people that lived, and you pray there, and miracles come to you.
Okay, but it's obvious he's talking about you.
Obviously,
Okay.
What Jewish entertainer married to somebody in the same gender went to this pilgrimage, and it was all over social media.
Right.
Okay, and we dedicated a Sefer Torah, a Torah scroll that's handwritten. Takes about a year, and every letter has to be exact, and was dedicated to the great-grandchild of the Rebbe up there, Reb Shaila, his great-grandson, who was taken from this town to the concentration camps, and bar mitzvah. His bar mitzvah was in a concentration camp. You understand? That's where we were, and now, so I'm not going to mention his name. I'm going to call him Yozel. I'm going to name this guy Yozel. Yozel, he's the real estate macher that lives in Muncie. He has a podcast called Halachic Headlines, and calling him Yozel from Lashon Zilzal, because he was mezalzel on me.
I understand.
You understand?
I understand.
He's mezalzel on me, so I'm going to call him Yozel from Muncie with a podcast called Halachic Headlines with a whole thing for Bale Avera. Okay, I'm so sorry you're sitting through this, but
Hey, Mike is like, what is going on right now?
okay, so we're going to continue. Hold on. So now,
Like, can I
so
just
now-
say
yeah.
something? Enough with the airtime. Like, he's getting like
No,
free
this is
airtime
good.
here.
People are going to go to his face and call him Yozel now. His new name is Yozel.
Okay,
You'll see this. His new
okay.
name will be Yozel now. Now, So he says, because I wrote a letter. One of the honors you can have with a Sefer Torah is to be given a letter. You can fill in a letter before it's finished. But he's saying, is it because it's me that I filled the letter? Is now the entire Torah not kosher? Oh, so let's just continue listening to this.
For it to be puzzle, right? The Biur Halacha says you would have to be a mummer, either to Lavai Zara or fulfill Shabbos. That would be the simple reading of the Mishnah Berurah. So would you say that somebody who is a mummer l'davar echad and who l'chayra flaunts it, or actually flaunts is a strong language, is very public about it, and has gone through a legal marriage ceremony, which is a way of sort of, commemorating it and making it open. Does he have a din of a mummer, or is he just an Ivar Aveir or l'davar echad, and therefore would not make a difference?
Well, the thing is like this. Besides for mummer l'avei zara and l'chal Shabbos issue, which would give him a din of a guy.
In short, now he has another rabbi on.
Is he a rabbi?
I don't think so. He's a yozel. He's a yozel, and he lives in Monsey, and he brings on these other rabbis, which I'm sure he probably makes donations to their yeshivas or their schools. So they come on, and they have to listen to him, trying to show how much Torah he knows. Now, so he's saying a few things. He's saying, I'm not going to bring him back on, but he's saying that it's not kosher because I'm mumar la'echad. It's too complicated to explain to you. But like, there's all these sins, all these things you have to do, and there's one thing I don't do. It's one of those things. And then that I'm also, is this not kosher because of I flaunt being married? So now he's discussing my marriage.
Right.
He's discussing my career, entertainer. And is this Torah not kosher? It is so insane.
All right, let me
No,
ask.
I'm gonna just keep going.
Let me just ask you
Yeah.
something. Who gives a shit what this guy thinks?
So you're right. Usually when we post something
Right.
that is anything, in 99.99% it's positive, and then there's 1% that's like, ugh, someone wrote something nasty. We just delete it or ignore it. But this guy is on a podcast on halacha questioning whether I make a Sefer Torah kosher or not. The
gives a
chutzpah.
shit what he
it's
thinks?
It's I now care. He's talking about me and my family and my worthiness in the Jewish world. And what's insane is this. Who is he? This guy that has a show called Balei Aveira, Masters of the Sin. When you Google me, all you see is Jews laughing and having a good time, raising money for amazing organizations. When you Google this yozel real estate guy from Monsey, all you see is indictments and lawsuits and bankruptcies, and you have the chutzpah to say that my Sefer Torah that I signed with the consciousness of bringing laughter to whoever reads from this Torah. I was invited by Rabbi Yokel Yisrael Gross Shlita, invited me for the letter. He was sitting right next to me and the Sofer, and he invited me for the letter. And you're asking whether this Sefer Torah is puzzle or not puzzle? Let me explain something to you, Yozel. That Sefer Torah is beyond kosher. Your Torah is the puzzle Torah, and you are the Balei Aveira. And I'm going to tell you what Aveira you are the master of. You are the master of preventing Mashiach from coming. Mashiach is here. It's just a matter of revealing it. And having a podcast called Balei Aveira is literally what is preventing Mashiach from revealing himself. Messianic era. We're in it, Michael.
Yeah.
We're in it. Come on. You're killing it. You're doing well. You're happy, married. You're with friends. You're enjoying life. Things are good. You can look for the good. You can look for the bad.
Right.
Right? You used to always look at the bad things that were happening.
Yes.
Now you look at the good. It's a Mashiach energy. It's literally, it's just changing the way you see things. And Mashiach is here. And this guy, this Yozel from Monsey real estate crook, he is what's preventing Mashiach from coming. You're the Balei Aveira. And if you ever talk about me, and you know what? What are you bringing in all these rabbis to to say how great you are and how smart you are. Invite me. I will spin your Talmud in your face so fast you wouldn't know what hit you. Okay? So don't discuss Jewish entertainer in the same gender marriage, okay? Keep to your busyness of your by the way,
Keep Modi's name out of your fucking mouth.
he didn't say my name. So I didn't say his name. I could easily, and everybody knows who it's gonna. They all know who he is and can Google, just like they all know who I am. It's a real estate guy in Muncie.
Here's the thing. The thing is that we should invite him to come on this show.
I don't want to invite
he
him
would
for
never
himself.
dare.
He would never.
So okay.
And he needs to be in his environment where he controls, and he can bring in rabbis that are on his payroll and will agree with him on everything. And I'm so happy I got that out of my
Good.
system.
I am too. I mean,
I'm sorry you had I'm happy.
No, my whole reaction. Let's get my reaction because podcasting is about reactions now. I mean, I'm glad you got it off your chest, but good luck buying a home in Muncie. The real estate market is not going to be friendly to you, my friend.
Oh my God. It's so true. They will. They're more on my side than his.
Okay.
He's a Balgaiva.
okay.
He's a real.
I think you should do a rap diss track.
What are we?
a rap
Diss track like Tupac.
like how you like rap and you like a roast, but like in like hip hop, you rap
Yeah,
and you
come
diss.
back at him.
Yeah.
Oh, didn't I just do that?
Yes, you did. I'm very glad that you got that off your chest. I've never seen you quite so
I've
worked
never.
up
Yes.
before.
Nothing ever upsets me.
Yeah.
You don't understand. You don't tell me nothing upsets. We get these. We DM social media, but to question, we were in a town.
Okay.
We were in a town in Hungary, a 2-hour drive north of
Budapest.
Budapest.
Yeah.
this town, this Jewish town, like from Fiddler on the Roof. And I was he was born there, this rabbi that was born in this town, the great-grandson of the big Rebbe it's buried up there. And we're with him, and we bring a Sefer Torah, and we dedicate it, and this guy is questioning the Sefer Torah. It's so absurd.
Right.
So that's just so you know, there's a little context
right.
to what we're saying.
I think this is a good time to
Wrap up?
no, not yet.
Good.
to have Mike tell us about his trip to Israel.
Oh, that's right.
Yes. It was.
So Mike is Italian.
Yeah, Italian American.
Okay.
Because let me tell you something about the comments online and criticism and stuff. I have there's stuff now where you're posting, I'm posting, people are posting, and it's like, you don't think that you're just posting, we're posting jokes, you know? So I have a joke about, my mother and father, I'm third generation, but Italian blood on both sides. So I'll post jokes about it. They're like, people will just be outraged and be like, you're not Italian. You're not Italian. You're American. What are you talking about? You're like, oh, you're a disgrace. It's like cursing at me in Italian, like cursing at me. And like,
Really?
it's like, what are we doing? Like, I don't care. I'm obviously American. I'm like, but
That's
I'm saying like my mother
insane.
and father, like,
Where
the
did you
roots
grow
going
up?
back.
Where did they grow up?
Yeah, they're second generation. They grew up in Ohio.
Okay.
But my grandparents came over. You know what I mean? Like
From the motherland, the other
from Italy.
motherland.
So it's just like that kind of. I thought it was
weird.
clear that we're like obviously.
weird. No, that's
but
weird.
It's like it's but little things like that and stuff like also like stuff like I had one where it was like, you shouldn't wear pajamas to the airport. People are just out. Like people are just coming at you like. Do you understand? I don't care about what are you doing? Like, what are you doing?
We had this week. Modi, the Prime Minister of India, was in with Biden in Washington D.C.
Right.
So every headline said Modi did this, Modi and Biden. On New York Times, Modi at the White House, da 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 da. And this one woman posted this tweet, like completely bashing Modi. He takes away freedom of speech from journalists. He represses people, and we posted it as if it was me. People were writing, "This woman's the worst. She doesn't know you. She's never seen your act." And they're like, so insane.
That's great.
What are you?
I think you should do a segment on this podcast. What's the other Modi up to? Yeah, and it's like I'm the Modi. What's the other Modi?
We should try to.
There's a Michael Vecchione. There's another Michael Vecchione. There's a couple other ones. And one of them is a hockey player, and he played for the Philadelphia Flyers. But I think he's in the farm team now of the Flyers, which is the Hershey. I don't know what they're called, but they just won some kind of a big cup, and he scored the winning goal, and everybody's sending it to me.
Oh, that's amazing.
And I'm like, yep, we're all champions.
That's amazing.
He's a winner. I'm a winner. Like, I'm sure every time I have a Tonight Show, they send it to him probably. So we're in this weird fraternity of Michael Vecchiones. There's another one who's a district attorney in Brooklyn, former district attorney in Brooklyn, and he would go after mob guys. He would prosecute mob guys. And like, I thought to myself, that's all I need. One of these mob guys to get out of prison and try to kill the prosecutor and kill the wrong one.
My God.
And I post all my dates, so I'm easy to find. And it's
You have
just
to do a show with all the other Michael Vecchiones.
There's one who's I think I might be the dumbest, Michael Vecchione. There's a famous hockey player, Michael Vecchione, district attorney Michael Vecchione, and the other guy's a marine biologist, Michael Vecchione. I might be the least successful Michael Vecchione, and I'm doing good.
You have to hope the hockey players are ding dong.
Oh, that is so funny. I don't think I ever run the risk of finding another Perrier Ashenbrand.
Oh my God,
Definitely not spelt or said the way you say it.
you're one of a kind.
One of a
Ariel.
kind, right? Thank you, Mike. Okay, so you went to Israel.
Went to Israel, and I think we talked about this the last time.
Yeah.
We did?
a little bit.
Yeah, we did.
Because I loved I loved every part of the trip. It was just the best thing.
That's
religious, very deep meaning, because I grew up Catholic with all those symbols and the faith and everything. And I didn't go to Catholic school. I get why people turn on if they're abused by the religion that
Sure,
they're just like
of course.
they don't want anything to do with it. I get that. I really do get it. But that's not the way I was brought up. So everything there was just like very meaningful to me, and it was just like really something. And it was Avi Lieberman's tour. Shout out to Avi, who's
Hi,
great.
Avi.
But the theaters that we performed in, the people were just so like great, and so many Americans.
Yeah.
That
And
I
they
was really
loved you.
shocked.
They loved you because you
Yeah.
have your sense of humor is very
Smart.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a smart sense of humor.
Yeah.
And that tour is for an organization called the Kobe Mandel
Yes,
Foundation.
Kobe Mandel. Yeah.
And I'm doing this tour alone without anybody else in Sukkot, which is in October. And it's just me. There's no 5 comedians. Avi opens for me, and then
Yeah.
I do the show. And now there's a problem because this show is sold or advertised to what's called Anglos, people who live in Israel who come from America, England,
Yeah.
Australia, people who like their
Expats.
Yeah.
language.
Yeah, expats,
Yeah. And so now, since I've developed this fan base in Israel that's not just Anglos,
Right.
the shows are being sold, and people who are Israelis are buying tickets, and they think I'm doing the show in Hebrew.
Why do you think that they think that?
Because
though?
they're writing to me in Hebrew.
Oh. But
אני
the,
מקווה מאוד שההופעה תהיה בעברית.
oh,
I'm
okay.
hoping this show will be. I said, I hope you learn English.
You
is
have
what
2 months.
You have 2 months to pick up English.
Yeah.
Also in France.
Yeah.
They think I'm doing the show in French. Where do they even think I know I'm doing
That's
French?
hilarious.
But you were in Israel. and
I
you
loved
were-
it, man. We stayed in Tel Aviv, and then we went all over.
Here's
But
why
Tel Aviv is very secular, and I loved it. But we did the dinner. What's the dinner on?
Shabbat dinner.
Shabbat dinner. That was unreal. And the bread, the bread is. I mean, it's really. I'm trying to do low carb, whatever. But I put it off the table there because the bread is so
It's
delicious.
true.
But it's ironic that what I wanted to do with the bread, and this is, people can mute this if this is offensive, but I wanted to cut the bread out, and I wanted to put prosciutto and mozzarella in the bread, and it would be the greatest sandwich in the history. That's why you're flying too close to the sun. That's why it's illegal in your culture to have that. It's so delicious.
Oh my God.
that is
hysterical.
so funny. I wanted to hear that because I've been seeing a lot of stuff online about how like the Israeli government is getting like well-known and famous comedians and celebrities to like go to Israel, and then they're like making them say nice things about Israel, and they don't feel comfortable doing that. So it's nice to hear an unsponsored. I'm serious. I'm being very serious right now.
I'm the most pro that more important that the Jews visit Israel is that non-Jews visit Israel and see what it really is.
Right.
And that's and when they hear it from you, when they hear from me, Israel's amazing. They're it's Modi. But when Mike Vecchione was in Israel, said it was amazing. It wasn't.
Never been there. Had no I'm just grew up Catholic, Roman Catholic. So, but like going there was really like. I didn't think it would affect me the way that it affected me. It was really, first of all, I loved the shows were great. I loved the shows, but I also loved being like going around and seeing like the Wailing Wall and where Christ was crucified.
Yep.
Like that kind of stuff is very like meaningful.
Yeah, I went to all those places too. I took Leo and we went to all those other places. Yeah,
the Wailing Wall, like everybody touching the wall and writing the notes, writing the whatever, and putting them in, and then everybody. You have people from all different, like you have Asian people, you have people from Africa there. It's like everybody's doing it kind of at the same time. It's like very like it's like a unity thing. Like we're all the same,
place.
We're all one kind of a thing.
That wall is a wall around where the world was created, where we believe the world was created.
Right.
That's the spot where, and now there's a mosque on top of it. It used to be a temple.
Right.
But that's the spot where the world was created from, and everybody came from that.
Right.
And so that's why there's an energy there.
Yeah,
there's an
there
energy
really is.
there. Whether you feel it, when
There
you're
really
there,
is. Yeah.
as irreligious as you are, there is a vibe in that spot.
We go every year to Israel, and every year we go to the wall.
You have to go to the wall. Yeah, it's.
I'm fully supportive of you shoving as much mozzarella and prosciutto into a piece of challah as you want.
So good,
Enjoy it.
It's that bread. The bread is just it's unreal. It's delicious. The food was unbelievable. I went with Godfrey, and we were walking, and we had this. We went, and we were just like went to this. I mean, Avi knows everything over there, so he brought us to this place, and we got like a lamb.
Yeah,
like a lamb
shawarma.
Sandwich.
Yeah,
it was so good.
Yeah.
We went the next day.
Yeah.
We just it's like, I'm like, as many days as we can go and have this, we should come and have this. And it was like a long walk. We just didn't care.
The food's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah. All right. What else?
That's
the
it.
Attractives on YouTube.
The Attractives on YouTube, and I have dates, MikeVecchione.com.
Spell it out for them. They don't know how to spell Vecchione. Mike.
Just, you could follow me at Comic Mike V. At Comic Mike V.
That you can spell.
Yeah, that you could spell.
And what you're like at well over 1 million.
Yeah, 1,000,004 on my friend Nate Bargatze directed and produced it. So we're at 1,000,004 on his page, and then we're at 800-Pound Gorilla was the production company.
Oh, that's who did mine.
And they put it on their site, and it's 120,000 on their site.
Amazing.
So it's doing well. But for live dates, MikeVecchione.com, you can find me at Comic Mike V, and then link to my dates. But I'm traveling and trying to sell tickets. So
he's the best. If you do yourself a favor, I always say be the friend that brings the friends to the comedy show.
Yeah.
If I'm not in town, you see the Mike Vecchione's in town. Buy tickets. Get tickets. Buy 5, 6, 7. Why odd numbers? 4, 6,
Six is
8,
even.
and bring friends. And people now come to me after my show and say, "I'm the friend that brought the friends."
that's great.
That's great.
Yes.
That's a
Be
great
the
one.
friend who brings the friends to the comedy show. That's Moshiach energy.
And send a lot of hate mail to that pig in Muncie.
Leave him alone. He's got whatever coming to him. Hashem knows what he's doing.
Okay.
A reverse mortgage?
He's so quick. I would never have. Oh my God. What are you up to? What shows you got going on?
I'm doing a show in Scarsdale, July 22nd at Jackie B's with Rich Aronovich.
I love him.
Love Rich.
it's
I love Rich
hysterical.
Ivanovich.
At Periel Ashenbrand, you can get
And
tickets.
are you coming with me to Baltimore?
No, I'm going to be in Israel.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Isn't there any place else I can come with you?
We can find, yes.
We can find.
ModiLive.com. Well, first of all, again, thank you very much to A&H Provisions hot dog site.
kosherdogs.net. Bring it to the 4th of July. And if this comes out after the 4th of July, bring it to something else. Your friends will thank you.
Yes, he's amazing. The food is really great. Thank you for the package and the merch too. And Whites and Luxembourg, thank you guys very much for partnering with us. That's the law firm you want to know if you have any problems. The law firm that does good and does well. They do good and they also do well. They the other way around. Well,
it's
and
the
good.
other way around.
Anyway, I love you, Arthur, and thanks for partnering up with us. And ModiLive.com for dates and shows. I'm at the town hall on December 21st. We're going to be adding some other shows before then, but that's going to be an insane show. Make sure you get tickets for that show. ModiLive.com. We've also got shows. We're adding shows in Europe for the sold out markets like Amsterdam, Brussels, and not Paris, but Frankfurt and Berlin. So ModiLive.com for all of those shows. Be the friend that brings the friends to the comedy show. Thank you, Mike Vecchione, for being on the show.
Thanks for having me on. Great to see you again, buddy.
It's always good to see you. Bye.
Bye.